Hello, and welcome back to my channel. It's Paul. I want to show you what I'm working on. This is an experiment, of course. As many of you probably know, whenever there is a variegated plant, such as the one we're looking at, this is Tradescantia pallida, the variegated purple heart. This one is the pink stripe, it's called. As you probably know, if you're a big plant person, a lot of times when you have a plant that variegates and you get like a sport of a completely variegated branch or stem, they don't survive because there's not enough green, not enough chlorophyll to feed the plant to create photosynthesis. But I've been doing a little experiment because in this plant, which I love, I came across, which I've seen before, and I'm sure a lot of people have, and you can see it on the internet, pieces like this here that are minimal in chlorophyll, and it looks like they're not going to survive because there's no green. But look at how pretty this is this is under full sun, at least in the afternoon, and you can see it's a beautiful pink, just a little bit of green on that leaf there. But what I did was, on another plant that I have of the same, I had a branch that had nothing but that. So what I did was I took it off and I started to propagate it. I started to grow it. The first one I started growing in lava rock. The second one I put in acrylic yarn. And as you can see, these plants have been in, well, you haven't seen yet, these cuttings have been in here for a few months, okay? So this is one, you can see, very little green. This leaf has a lot of green. This one it's starting to turn green. What I'm noticing is the less light you give these sports, the more green, like a light green, they present. So same thing with this one. This is the oldest leaf. It has turned green. The newest leaves are completely white or pink, depending on how much sun they get. And you can see this is in the process of turning. So because these are transitioning back to a green, they've been keeping this plant alive. So it's interesting. It's like the more sun they get, the more pink and I guess whitish. I don't want to say whitish, but without sun, this would probably look whitish, right? That's how they look with a lot of bright light, a lot of sun. But as they harden off, as they get a little older, they start to show more green. And that is what's keeping these alive. Interesting thing is, I don't know if it's because these leaves have minimal green in them, that they're just a straight up pink in the sun. Same thing with this one, you can see. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to isolate these, making sure that they are strong enough to survive. And if they are, this could potentially be a new cultivar. So I'm keeping an eye on it. I'm going to keep propagating. This one here can come off, as you can see. It's got a node right there that I could root from, but I'm gonna wait for this to get just a little bit longer so it has a little more to work with. But how cool would that be to have like a light green leaf that turns a bright pink, just a complete pink in the sun, and eventually hardens off to that green. I just think it's really kind of cool. It almost reminds me of like Florida Ghost, or like one of those aroids that starts out variegated, like starts out light, whitish, yellow, and then eventually fades to green. I think it's really cool. And it's like almost like a survival mechanism for these guys because they want to live. And they kind of know that they won't be able to without any green. So I just think it's really cool. And I can't wait to see what happens. This leaf, I think this may have dried out a little bit in the rock, lava rock. It's filled up now, but I think that's why this leaf started to dry up at the tips, because the newer leaves and the older leaves are all doing great. I think this is really cool. I'm very excited. Could be nothing. You know, this could turn out to die off because it's just not strong enough. So far, so good, though. It's been a couple of months. Like, these have been in here for a couple of months, and I already have 2 cuttings. This will be 3 as soon as it grows out a little bit. And let's see what happens, okay? This is just an experiment. May not work, but it may. And I'm surprised nobody has tried isolating these before, because this happens very commonly. It's I've seen this happen very often with this plant. So we will see, but I just think it's really kind of cool looking, and I just want to share it with you guys. So if you have any questions about the Pellita plant, it used to be Secretia, but now it is back in the Tradescantia genus. If you have any questions about the Purple Heart, variegated Purple Heart, Pink Stripe, whatever you want to call it, even the Blue Sue, Green Queen, I have them all, but and they all pretty much grow the same, but this is the only one I'm interested in right now because of the variegation that's happening, which is like a complete variegation, but then it reverts like as it ages. I just think that's cool. Anyway, we will talk more as time goes on and things progress, but I wanted to show you what was happening because I'm having fun with this. And if you guys are doing anything like this with your plants, leave a comment, let's talk. I love hearing about this sort of stuff. And yeah, and we will share some tips. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell if you want to be notified, and I will see you in the next video.